Hello, children. Welcome to the radio learning program produced by Rwanda Education Board with support from UNICEF. My name is Teacher Mary, and I'll be teaching you social studies specifically for P6. And since you are at home, because of the outbreak of coronavirus, you will be learning some of the content that you study at school through the radio program. Children, I encourage you to stay at home and wash your hands with soap and water so as to avoid the spread of coronavirus. And I encourage our dear parents to support children as they will be learning through this program. And now, children, you may get a notebook and a pen, and you write down the notes and exercises that I will be giving you. Now, we are going to listen to this message before we continue.
And now we have a message for anyone listening. We will be back shortly.
Nitwitaye iwacu Bruce Melody. Muraho neza, mahoro. Ni Bruce Melody nkuko nari maze kubivuga. Hanyuma uyu munsi bafitiye ubutumwa bumeze butya. Niba warabanye n'umuntu ufite ibimenyetso by'indwara ya coronavirus, cyangwa se ukabuzi ko hari uwuzi afite ibyo bimenyetso, ukwiriye kubimenyesha inzego z'ubuzima zikwegereye cyangwa ugahamagara kuri nimero 114 kugira ngo muhabwe ubutabazi. Ubu butumwa burabareba, mugume mu rugo, mwoge intoki, amagara araseseka ntayo. Yuhu!
Welcome back. Today, we are going to learn about public places and assets in our country. And if you have a P6 SST textbook, you could open on page 114. As children, you know, in our country, we have public places and assets which support the country in its development. We are going to talk about that. I have a question for you. What do you understand by the word public assets? I repeat. What do you understand by the word public assets? What do you understand by the word public assets? What do you understand by the word public assets? I'm giving you 30 seconds to write that in your notebook. Well done, children. Now, this is what public assets are. Public assets are things that belong to all people. They are things that belong to all people. So, children, can you stand up for a warm-up? And you're all going to dance in this warm-up. So, I'm going to sing, and you will do what I tell you in the song. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know, clap your hands. So children, have you done that? Well done. Thank you, children. So children, we are going to look through the window and we see some of the things that belong to all people. All things that can be used by all the people. And I'm giving you 30 seconds to do that activity. Children, what are some of the public places that you know? Can you mention some of the public places that you know? And I'm giving you 30 seconds to do that activity. Children, stop writing. Can you now listen to me? These are some of the public places we find in our country. 1. Water sources. 2. Schools. 3. Marketplaces. 4. Churches. 5. Hospitals. 6. Roads. 7. Police stations. I hope you managed to write some of these public places. I ask parents to check in the children's books to see if they managed to write these public places. Now let's listen to this message before we continue.
Muraho neza, nitwa Mani Martin. Muri iki gihe dukumira icyorezo cya coronavirus, abantu benshi bazi ko ahari ari igihe cyo kugira ubwoba. Nibyo ushobora gutekereza ko bihangayikishije, ariko intwaro ya mbere idufasha kwirinda si ukugira ubwoba, ahubwo no kubahiriza amabwiriza yose turi gusaba. Kuguma mu rugo mwibuke ko ari ryo banga rya mbere. Si igihe cyo kugira ubwoba ngo wumve ko niba ukoroye, niba witsamuye ibintu bicitse. Nuramuka ugize kimwe muri ibyo bimenyetso, kugira umuriro mwinshi, guhumeka nabi, gukorora cyangwa kwitsamura, wikumva ugize ubwoba ngo wirukanke ako kanya, wumve ko ugomba guhita ujya kwa muganga ako kanya. Ahubwo ugahamagara 114 ukabona ubutabazi. 114.
Welcome back, children. And remember, we were talking about public places. So now, why do we need public places or assets in our country? Why are these public places important? I'm going to give you 30 seconds to do this activity. I hope you have written, and well done, children. Thank you very much. So these are some of the importances of public places. 1. Public places enable people to access education easily. 2. People can get clean water for use on less money from water sources. 3. People are provided with security through the police stations. 4. Public places are places of worship, especially churches where people go to worship. In markets, people carry out the selling and buying of goods. And lastly, the public places like banks keep the people's money safely for future use. So children, stand up for a short warm-up. You are going to do as I say. And this is how the warm-up is. If you hear me, clap once. If you hear me, clap twice. If you hear me, clap thrice. Can we repeat it? If you hear me, clap once. If you hear me, clap twice. If you hear me, clap thrice. Well done, children. Can you sit down? So we are going to do another activity. Now, can you think of the problems faced by the public places in our country? Think of those problems that are faced by public places in our country and write them down in your notebooks. I'm giving you 30 seconds. So, children, I hope you have written the problems in your notebooks. Now, these are some of the problems faced by public places, and check in your notebooks if you have some of them. 1. Misuse of funds by some of the workers. 2. Corruption by some people. 3. Poor service delivery. 4. Shortage of land for expansion. And lastly, high population that cannot be served easily. Thank you, children. Now we are going to listen to this message before we continue.
Hello, ibintu byakomeye ariko nimugire ubwoba ejo nahoze mbona abantu bose bari gusharinga ibyo bishakiye corona yakubisa corona yageza tuza ahanga ukuntu bimeze no kuvuga ngo ibigerekeranye na coronavirus byose ubutumwa bwari bwo bwose ugomba kubukura kuri Minisiteri y'Ubuzima. Nuvanga amakuru ushobora kubona kuri WhatsApp yego ariko ujye ureba iryo tangazo hariho kashe ya Minisiteri y'Ubuzima. Ibindi byose ntubyiteho, yego ushobora kuyibona wayivanye kuri social media zabo ukayohereza kuri WhatsApp mu muryango, ariko ujye ubanza urebe ibyo wohereza biravaye biragaragaza ko bivuye muri Minisiteri y'Ubuzima. Naho ubundi abantu hanga barohereza isi utariyani ngo bimeze gutya ibiki wowe banza umenye hano mu Rwanda bimeze gute. Urabibwirwa na Minisiteri y'Ubuzima. Niba ari ukuguma mu rugo barakubwira igihe tugumayo igihe tugirayo guhaha, ibyo byose biratangazwa na Minisiteri y'Ubuzima. Ariko ubundi don't worry, sigare mu mahoro, tugume mu rugo, tumere neza. Ubuzima ntabwo buhagarara. Enjoy ariko home.
Welcome back, children. And remember, we were looking at the problems faced by public places. Now we are going to continue and we look at how can we preserve our public places. How can we preserve or protect our public places? I'm giving you 30 seconds to do that activity. Thank you, children, for doing that activity. These are some of the answers to the question. We can preserve and maintain public places in the following ways. 1. We can preserve them by respecting the public places. 2. We can protect them just like we protect our own homes. 3. We should not waste resources that are used in those public places. 4. We need to care for those public places by making sure they are clean. So these are some of the ways of preserving or protecting our public places. 1. We can preserve them by respecting the public places. 2. We can protect them just like we protect our own homes. 3. We should not waste resources that are used in those public places. 4. We need to care for those public places by making sure they are clean. So, children, as we conclude this lesson, I want you to think about how your country. Now, children, as we conclude this lesson, for your homework, think about how your country could be if there were no public places. For your homework, think about how your country could be if there were no public places. And finally, I hope everyone learned something about public places. And thank you for paying attention. And I continue to encourage parents to help children while they are learning through this program. And hope you'll join me in the next lesson. Bye-bye.